Hello Taylor and viewers and Justin! Unless you have been living under a rock for the past few days, you've probably heard the words Wendy Davis and feminism more times than you'd like to count. Let's talk about them a little more. With the whole dilemma of SB5 in Texas this week and Rick Perry's idiotic comments this morning, the internet have been up in arms for and against some seriously angry feminists. Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook have been lighting up with talk of Wendy Davis, Leticia Van de Putte, and other senators who have supported killing the bill. SB5, amongst creating other requirements, outlawed all abortions in the state of Texas 20 weeks after conception and created a licensing requirement so expensive that 5 clinics could afford to stay open in a state roughly the size of Western Europe. Hundreds of thousands of people tuned in to watch the live stream of Senator Davis's 13-hour filibuster and the following uprising of the people of Texas. And after much confusion, almost 30,000 people tuned in to watch the only live coverage left of the event in the entire country, someone live streaming from their cell phone. Not only does it worry me that an event this huge wasn't covered by any of the news stations, the fact that a Senate decided that it was alright to bend the rules with this many people watching disgusts me. But the thing that really blew me away was the level of response that this bill received. For hours, my Tumblr dash was nothing but support for Wendy and her fellow senators. Because of this reaction, I saw discussions about feminism reach a new level. People were really thinking about it, and responses to negativity were the best I'd ever seen. But this leads to the big question. Why the negative response to feminism? As a feminist, obviously I think it's a great thing, and as someone who studies sexuality, I see why feminism is necessary. But I also see a lot of people misunderstanding what feminism really is. Society has decided what roles men and women should play in our everyday lives. Feminism isn't about bra burning and destroying men, it's about fighting these roles. We've decided that women are weak and emotional and men should be the exact opposite, to show emotion is girly, which is the worst thing to be. People tend to say things like grow some balls, play like a man, don't be a pussy. All of these things imply that being a woman or being like a woman is an undesirable thing, and in some cases, the worst thing. But feminism isn't just about women. It's fighting for men, too. It fights for the right a man has to stay home and raise a family while his wife is off working. For a father to be more than the disciplinarian, and for the mother to be more than the kisser of cuts and bruises. For girls to want to play football, and for boys to want to dance. So that rape and sexual assault are finally seen as more than a man doing what's natural to him, especially when a woman asks for it. So that a man can cry about something because he cares passionately, and it's not seen as abnormal. So that the idea of a female president doesn't completely freak people out because they can't imagine a woman running our country. So that women don't have to dumb themselves down to seem more attractive. So that the very idea of a metrosexual man is extinguished. That a man doesn't have to be placed in a completely separate category simply because he's well-dressed and practices good personal hygiene. So that when people talk about Hillary Clinton, they care more about what's coming out of her mouth than what's on her body, and saying she's ugly stops being a proper response to an intellectual argument. There are a lot of feminists who would disagree with me in how I understand feminism, but when we're talking about creating equal rights for a woman in economic, social, and political situations, if we continue to feed a difference between genders, we won't get anywhere. Whether you're trans or cis, male or female, with or without a uterus, feminism helps and supports you. It's working towards erasing the gender binary that's created so many of our current political and social problems. Feminism is making the world a better place. When I hear people disagree with feminism, it leads to me thinking that they support patriarchy and misogyny, which I know in some cases is true, but I also know that there are people who don't agree with these things but also don't support feminism, and I'm curious as to your reasons. So if you're watching this video and thinking I'm a crazy bitch, please tell me why. I would like to know. Feminism is important to me, and I think it should be important to you too, but I know it's going to take a long time to clear up the misunderstandings and disagreements about it. I know I'm going to be fighting for it more publicly in the future. Justin and Taylor, I'll see you tomorrow.